morning, everyone. Happy Sunday to each and every one of us. There is something I would like to share with us, and I'm trusting God that is going to bless each and every one of us this Sunday morning and all that. So, it's just a story that if you're a Bible student, you know very well about the story of the first king of Israel, which is Saul. I'm talking about King Saul. But the story I'm trying to share is the story of how he became the king. And we can see that in 1 Samuel 9 verse 3. That's we are the starting point of him becoming the king, how it started and all that. So in that 1 Samuel 9 verse 3, that is the place that trying to help us understand what happened to his family, with the family of Kish, which is his father. The name of his father is Kish. And the Bible said that the father lost a donkey. And as a result of the father losing the donkey, the father sent him and one of his servants, say, go and look for the donkey. And as a result of them looking for the donkey, in the same 1 Samuel chapter 10 verse 1, they met a man called Prophet Samuel, who later ordained him a king. So can we understand what really happened there? In the initial state, what happened to them is losing something very important, because that is the business of their father. It's like losing a huge amount of money, even in terms of our modern time. And in the process of him losing that amount of assets, and that later led him to become the first king of Israel. So that's why we say that our ways and the ways of God are never the same. So what I'm trying to bring there in the story is that most of the time when something happens around our life, and especially if you're a child of God, this is mostly for those that have surrendered, have come to the place of being the bona fide member of the kingdom of God, that most of the time something happens around our life, not knowing that God is going to use that to lead us to what our destination is going to be. Because what happened there is that they lost something very profitable for them, losing one of the donkey, or many of them, as a result of maybe someone that was tending to it was careless and they lost it, not knowing that God is going to use that in the process to lead his son to become the first king of Israel. And when they went to go and look for the donkey, in the process of them looking for the donkey, they met a man that helped him to become what God have ordained him to be. So what I'm trying to bring there in which is what I've said earlier, that in the process of us trying to establish destiny, most of the time it comes in an unusual way, in a way that we didn't expect for it to come. Because in this process, what happened is that initially that they were seeking for something very precious, looking for it all over the land of Israel, and they were not able to find it, not knowing that God had prepared that to lead him to the place of destiny. So whatever it is that is happening in your life, and you think that maybe, why will God allow such a thing? Why will God allow me lose such a thing? Why will God allow this thing happen to me? Why will God take me to this kind of place? Why will I even come to this place? Why will I be able? Why is it that after I prayed, nothing is happening? And because you don't understand the wisdom of God, because it's the wisdom of God that played out there, the wisdom of how God directs his children to meet purpose and destiny and all that. So that's why when you are a child of God, trying to know that everything works out for good for them that love him. For the case of Saul there, that process was not what he was thinking that would lead him. He didn't even have it as a premonition that he's going to become the king of Israel. But God has ordained him in the before even time that he's the one that is going to be the first king. And as a result of that, losing the donkey, and how can you correlate it that losing donkey will lead him to the process of becoming the first king? That's how God we serve works. He works in a mysterious way. He's not a human. He's a spirit, and he's a being that is more wiser than how we think we are wise up to. So one thing I'm trying to bring there in the final aspect of what I want to say is that let's learn to trust God in every process, no matter what happens around our life. In that process, we might not understand that that process is what is going to lead us to what God have ordained for us in the future and destiny. I think that by this little message that God have used it to help us to see light from here, that in everything, that the end of it, so long as God that is in it, will always be glorious and will always lead us to the destination and the plan that God has for us and for our destiny. Thank you and remain blessed.